Hey, and thanks for checking out my guide for Neverwinter. This is going to be the boss Ethraniev Marrowslake. It's the last boss in Grey Wolf Den. You should be able to queue for this dungeon at about level 38 to 42-ish. It's not that difficult. It's a long dungeon, but in the end, you'll see the final result, which is a pretty cool boss. I feel like this is the point where the game starts to get tough. I haven't wiped in a dungeon until this one. We actually wiped 2 times before actually killing her. So in order to reach this boss, you need your full party to rest up, and then you all need to meet up at the gate. In order to pull the lever, you have to have your whole party there and ready to go. When you first see this boss, she's gonna look like a female warrior. After engaging her, she enrages and turns into the big thing you see now. As of right now, while making this guide, I do not have the names of any of the abilities she is casting during this encounter. When I get that information, I'll put it in the description below. Let's go over some of the basic few mechanics. Let's talk about group setup. Ideally for this, you're going to want a tank, a healer. In terms of DPS, I would suggest bringing a control wizard because this boss spawns a ton of adds. So as you can see right now, the boss just summoned shadow wolves. These adds hit really hard. You definitely don't want your healer tanking them, so if you see your healer getting healing aggro, make sure you assist him or her in defeating the wolves before resuming the fight on the boss. Another set of adds to this boss spawns in particular are skeleton archers. You'll see them around the outside. If you see them, they tend to start hitting randomly just because the tank usually won't have aggro on ranged adds that spawn. He won't be aware of them. So do your best to zerg them down real quick. They don't have too much health. Just a few hits from, a rogue or even a mage or any other class will be enough to defeat them. Last but not least on the adds, this boss also summons a wolf-like warrior add. When you see one of these, pay very special attention to them. Make sure your tank is aware of them, because these ones are probably the hardest adds on this boss fight. They have a ton of health, a ton of armor, and they do a ton of damage. So make sure your tank saves his AoE taunt for that, and make sure you have everyone AoE them down as quick as possible. As you can see here, my control wizard is casting his daily ability, which is doing tons of AoE damage to clear the ad waves really quickly. You want to make sure your wizard is constantly doing this every time it's up and waiting for ads to spawn before using it. A note on the wolf warrior ads, they also cast an ability that will show a red circle on the ground. It basically means it's just going to leap over to that position, so if you happen to be standing there, you're going to take an insane amount of damage, so move out of that as well. Now on to the main boss. She casts 2 main abilities. One, which is going to be a frontal cone cleave. She's going to draw a red cone right in front, and if you're in that vicinity, you're going to be heavily damaged, almost one shot. Now, the most annoying ability is the one which you just saw. It's basically a claw that comes out of the ground made of shadow. Now the annoying thing about this ability is, like, after you see the red circle come up on the ground, the claw shoots up really fast after, so you don't have much time to dodge. And as you'll notice, when the boss strikes the ground with the sword, that's when the ability is going to be actually casted and actually be able to damage you. So if you can dodge that and manage adds, protect your healer, and make sure your tank is doing his job and keep him up, this fight should be no problem. Expect to wipe 1 to 2 times just to learn the fight and get a feel for how the difficulty is on this. It's pretty much from the beginning of the game till now, it's been smooth sailing. This is the first time that it's not going to be super easy for you. So enjoy, hope this guide helped you, and be sure to subscribe for future guides. Thanks.